And I think we are live. Yes, we are. Let me drink some root beer first.
Put it there, yeah. Put it in the
Ah, got the Yankee bullshit. Tell me if somebody comes on. I'm checking out the Yankee thing.
I didn't do nothing, he says. I'm here first.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Walker.
Okay. Hey, guys, what's going on? I'm sorry. I was just reading about the Yankee bullshit. What's going on? I didn't do nothing in Yankee. Yankee.
Matthew Walker.
Matthew Walker. Sorry, I was reading on the other thing here. The Yankees. They suck. They suck. The Yankees suck. What's going on, guys? It's another Friday night, and I guess we'll have a little bit of bullshit over here. We'll have a little bit of fun, right? Why not? Wait a minute here. Now, what the fuck? Display. Okay, forget it.
Who's that? Johnny Apple?
What's going on, guys?
Do you think Trump's winning this?
What happened?
Johnny Apple, do you think Trump's winning this?
Hey, Jason Barry, how you doing?
What's
Johnny
up,
Apple. Matthew Walker said hello. I didn't do nothing.
Work, unfortunately.
Who asked me what?
Johnny Apple says, do you think Trump is going to win this?
Do I think Trump's going to win? I don't know. I don't know. Would I bet on it? No. Because they already said today they had, what's his name, Jamie Raskin saying today, if you watch Jesse Waters, they said, if he does win, we're going to just say he's illegitimate and fuck that shit, and then we'll it might be a civil war, but we'll be ready for it. They said that today. Watch Jesse Waters. Watch the reruns. Jamie Raskin said it. So, do I think Trump's going to win? I wouldn't bet on it. No. The hatred for Trump is too great, and they control everything. Democrats and Republicans don't fight back. So nothing shocks me. Win more. What's going on? What's he asking me?
We're going to see let's see you guys. It's going to be a killer live tonight.
A killer live. Oh, did we say that word? Are you allowed to say that word? What's going on? Jason Barry, what is he saying? They're not letting him win. Right. You got to help me here. They're not letting him win. Because what Jason Barry said, they can hear you, so just be careful. All right, they need. Yeah. No, I don't. Don't share. Yeah. So he said, Jason Barry said that they're not going to let him win, and that's what I just said. It's. Well, watch Jesse Waters. Watch the rerun today. They had a video showing Jamie Raskin saying to the other Democrats sitting at the thing, which is not going to happen. We're not going to let it happen. That's it. If he wins, we're going to claim that he's an illegitimate president, and we're going to take him out. It's not going to happen. He goes, and if it happens to be a civil war, then it's going to be a civil war. But we'll be ready. That's what he said. Go watch it. That's what Jamie Raskin said. Okay, and he's one of the leaders of the Democratic Party, and he's one of the ones who actually, ran the whole impeachment for Trump each time he was impeached. And I believe that. So that's what's going to have to happen. People are going to have to just make their will of the people has to happen. So people are going to have to, stand up for what they believe in, and whatever happens, happens. That's all I can say.
My favorite bodybuilder, GREGG Valentino, the Amberley Freak.
Who said that?
Terminator Juice.
Terminator Juice. What's going on? The Rambling Freak is still here. I still do that. If you guys want to know, I still do that column. I do it for Joe Pietaro. I do it. It's called now Talking Smack because Steve Blackman owns the rights to the word, to the name Rambling Freak. So we have to go with Talking Smack. But I still write the same crazy, insane column. But it's in Muscle Sport Mag, which is probably the last, of the magazines left. Everything's gone. It just social media has destroyed, everything in this world. To be honest with you, What else here, Lucia? Come on, step it up.
How big was who's HHHH? Oh, Triple H in real life. He's listed at 5'4".
Who's listed at 5'4"?
Triple H.
What?
6'4".
Oh, okay. Well, good to know.
No, they're saying how big was HH in real life?
Oh, how big is he? You were asking me how big Triple H was? Yeah, he's about 6'4", 6'5". He's big. He's tall. Everybody's tall to me and Lee. Triple H is a big guy. He's definitely a big man. you know. But he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I've had dinner with him, sat with him, ate dinner and everything like that. He's a good man.
Luciano is on there.
Okay, what's going on? All you guys, there's a whole bunch of them here. Who's this?
Luciano,
Read.
what?
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna have to try to read some of this
Luciano,
myself.
Josh McCoy,
Let's see here. Well, let me read it. You're gonna have to help me with the postal here.
Jason Barry.
All right, you already know all that. Let's go.
So then what are you
Greg,
looking for?
I'm trying to read, guys. I'm sorry. Useless.
What are you saying?
Hey, Greg, I am afraid of the Civil War, my friend. Yes, I am too. Listen, win war. I don't want no Civil War. That's we'll lose that too. I don't trust them. You know what I'm saying? They'll lock up everybody. Look what they've done. There's people who've been locked up for nothing, for a meme, writing a meme. You know what I mean? There's somebody who was locked up for a Facebook post. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you can burn down a police station up in Minneapolis. That's okay. You know, you can. People storm the Capitol building, but they're, you know, when they do it under the name of, you know, BLM or one of those other things, that's okay. That's fine. Storm it all you want. You know, it doesn't matter. But when it's, you know, if it's Republican or MAGA, forget about it. It doesn't work. Let's go here.
Does clavicle with
okay, yeah, you do. I can't see. I can't see what you guys are asking me here. Hold on, I'm not getting any help.
Better than peanut butter for fat.
What? Who asked that? Is coconut oil better than peanut butter for fats? Yeah, coconut oil is an MCT oil, so it's very good. I mean, you know, you're gonna sit and eat coconut oil, or you're gonna have peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? One's more of a food, than the other is a fat. But you know, it's okay. You know what I mean? It's coconut oil is an oil. You know. But it's not really, it's not a food. You're going to sit there and eat coconut like oil like that. But peanut butter is peanut butter. You know, you could put it on something, you could eat it. It's more of a food. So it's two different things. It's not, you know, both of them are actually, you know, good for you. Coconut oil as an oil is way better though. Okay, I'm trying to read here.
You don't want martial law, never.
Is that John Scuderi? Oh, John Scuderi. What's going on, my brother? How you doing? John Scuderi. He's asking me, what's up? Derek Anthony used to say, I can't. Can you read that? What John Scuderi? I can't see. It's hard for me to read, guys. I'm not. The help is not here.
Boy, Derek Anthony used to say,
quesadilla. Yeah.
What do you say? I guess that's
what yeah. Well, Derek Anthony was my boy. Big Yankee fan, by the way, John Scuderi. You know that. You know. You remember Derek. You were friends with him. So Derek was my boy. I miss Derek. He was a fun guy, man. But what else here? Come on.
Aloha, Greg. Great show tonight. Thanks for preaching the truth.
Who's saying this again?
Donkey Kong 42.
Donkey Kong 42. Guys, I'm sorry. My eyes are. I'm old. I'm 64. Even with reading glasses, sometimes I have to put a magnifying glass and reading glasses on to see. And I'm not really getting the help today too much. So
Greg,
you know. All right. Like so. Anyway, what else? Let me see what else somebody's saying. Go. Let me see what else somebody's saying.
Oil is good for the skin, just saying. Luciano said that.
Yeah, coconut oil is good for skin. Let me see what else here. Let me see if I can control this.
Never.
No, nobody wants martial law, but they, you know, I have no say, and you know, the Republicans, you know, they have no say either. They don't do anything. They just don't fight back. If you let the bully punch you in the face and you walk away and you let it keep happening, it's gonna happen. You know, they're already catching people stuffing ballot box. They're already catching people doing stuff, and nothing's happening. You know what I'm saying? You know, come on. 2 weeks ago, Kamala Harris was the punchline of jokes, and now all of a sudden she's the second coming. So you know, it's you know, don't expect. All you guys have to understand that even when Joe Biden was God, couldn't fucking answer a question, was so fucked up and all that stuff, right? All of that, and yet he was only 2-3 points behind Trump, and the only reason he's behind Trump is because everybody sees he's fucked up. But people still hate Trump that much. So with all that, if that was any other candidate, it wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't. He'd have 10%. That's it. So.
Somebody wrote, "Do you have family in Florida?" Roger Bennett said he's related to.
Yes. Who asked me that?
Lonnie Bear.
Lonnie Bear. Roger Bennett is my cousin. The kid is Roger Bennett Jr. The father is my cousin Chip. We call him Chipper. So yes, Roger Bennett is my cousin. Yes, I grew up with him. So it's from Portchester, New York. So give him a hug for me. So yes, it's true.
Godzilla. Hey, Greg, have you seen Tony Hughes?
Godzilla's asking if I've seen Tony Huge. No, I haven't seen him recently. Tony Huge is my friend. When I was sick, he'd send me supplements, and he's my guy. Tony Huge is a great guy. I love Tony Huge. He's always he looks out, like anytime I'm sick or something like that. He reaches out to me. He's been a very good guy. I hate when people talk shit about him. And I thought, he killed Leo. No, he didn't. That's the stupidest shit. He's a good man. I know him, so. Ruben Sanchez, what's up? What are you doing? Is Ruben the one that you said called you or something?
I think so.
Ruben, yeah. Ruben, did you try to reach out to me? If you did, I'll help you. But you can't get crazy with that situation. We'll talk about it, you and I, if you want. Because I was in that situation, and sometimes when you try to fucking push a little bit too much, you end up sinking deeper. You know what I mean? Which is not good.
Somebody asked, do you still do PT?
Do I still do PT? What's that? Personal training?
Say, oh, beautiful. Probably, yeah.
Not really. No, I'm not really big into that personal training stuff. Those they can do, those they can't teach. It's just I don't know. I'm just not. No offense to anybody's personal training. To me, it's like babysitting and stuff. And then some people, I'm too easygoing, so I give much more than you know what I'm saying. I've had people pay an hour, and I went to give them 5 hours. It's just the way it is. I'm a real momo.
When we're out Texas, Lucia, I like spicy hot peppers too every day. Do you have any favorite hot peppers? I bought a bag of 1 million SU hot pepper powder on Amazon recently. It works better than coffee.
When Moore's telling Lucia that he likes hot peppers, and she'll eat any hot pepper you can to buy. She's into all that shit. To me, the pepper that you got, black pepper for the we put on at the table. That to me is spice. I can't. I'm not a spicy guy. I don't eat onions. I don't eat garlic. I can eat peppers, but they repeat on me. So I got to be really careful. I grew up that way, so I don't eat anything spicy. I'm like she's Mexican. I hate Mexican food. She makes me hate it even more because she's Mexican. But I'm just kidding. What else here?
Have you been down to Shore and Seaside this year? If not, bring your life savings just for a slice of pizza. Not like it was when we met years ago.
Jason Barry. Yes, Jason Barry. How you doing, my brother? Yes, and I do remember meeting you. I had a hat, I think, on. Just a picture of us, you with a couple guys. Yeah, I haven't been down to Seaside recently. My friend runs all the bouncing shit down there, but. I know last time I was there, man, I saw those fucking sand dunes that they built. Like when now you're walking on the boardwalk, you can't even see the ocean because one time Hurricane Sandy came in with all that, where it wiped out half the boardwalk. But still, they built they ruined it. They ruined that shit, and then they charged too much. And then now it's becoming very savage down there too. There's a lot of savages hanging out down there. I just don't like it. The cops are corrupt over there, putting boots on your car if you park in the wrong spot. So then you got to freaking pay them cash right there. Yeah, we're like, okay. You know what I mean? It's a lot of bullshit, so
what does that
fuck
mean?
them. But anyway, Jason, I hope you have a good time if you're down there. Do you live down there? What happened?
Constitutional Stacker says, Greg, how many MIGs you run these days? For my old ass, it's not much. MIGs, miles maybe?
No, I got it. Constitutional Stacker wants to know how many milligrams I run, testosterone, and I only run 200 milligrams every 10 days. That's because I just do replacement. I'm not looking to be huge. I'm still genetically really built, but I'm not looking to be. It doesn't do much for my build, to be honest with you, because I'm just replacing what I destroyed, and I'm 64 years old, so it's down anyway. And I'm not doing it if I wanted to be big, I just have to raise that a little bit, and all of a sudden the size starts becoming. But I don't want that because I'm fucking old. I don't want it. The last thing I need is, like I even tell Dave, what the fuck are you doing, Palumbo? Like, well, I mean, the head's big, the neck's big. I told him, because he's like 30, 40 pounds heavier than he was. No good, not good. I don't like it. I had my day of being huge, so I don't want to be huge anymore. Did I love it? I absolutely loved it. Do I like feeling huge and walking out there and being gigundo and stuff, 4X shirt and everything? Absolutely, I love that. Not anymore, though. I can't do that. I'm too old. You know what I mean? I don't want to get a heart attack, and that's what you're headed for. How many times in your lifetime, any of you guys, okay, that you've been alive, how many times have you seen a guy that's like 80 years old, super jacked? Never. You may see a guy that's built, muscular, got little muscles and shit, but he's not jacked. He's not walking on 250 pounds, 80 years old, and it doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. You won't live. So I don't want to be the biggest guy in a coffin. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody so beautiful said, are the services on your website you offer still good? I would love to consult with you for bodybuilding services.
Who asked that?
So it says Sale Beautiful. SEOUL. Sale Beautiful.
Sale Beautiful. Wants to know, are the services on my website still available? Because he wants to I guess talk with me about you. I know my girlfriend's getting
like what?
Because you like if I say, because I hate doing trainings. I hate doing consultation. I always want to give more of myself to them. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit. He's asking, in other words, do I still do the consultations and stuff like I used to?
I'm sure the website.
Ah, Jesus. I don't know. I guess I'm not really, text her and tell her what you want to know, and then we'll figure it out. Because I could jump on that easily. I have a lot of people asking me, oh, can you personally train me and all this stuff. And even though, I could always use the Scott, oh, God knows, you know what I mean? I'm a legit guy, bro. I'm not going to bullshit. I'm not really crazy about doing that stuff. Only because I get too intense and I get too involved, and then I wind up giving more of myself than and then I kick myself in the ass for that shit. So because it's just the way I am. I'm an all or nothing guy. So when people start asking me shit, I go too deep in it. But
yeah, there's a lot of people on here. Somebody said, "Hey, Greg, love you, brother. I sent you a message on Instagram. I have a question for you."
Okay, who said that?
Alaric87.
Alaric87 said that he sent me a message on Instagram. He has a question. Ask me the question. No problem. I don't always see those. You got to remember something, guys. I've only had where's my phone? I've only had my phone, as most of you guys know, this time last year, I still had a flip phone. So Satan, does my Instagram for me. You know what I'm saying? So, I was, I don't always see the messages. Now you can still message me on there, but if you're not like I guess, would you have to be a mutual friend or something like that? I'm not really good with that stuff. I'm not the greatest social media guy, as you guys could tell. But so you ask me, and just get to her attention, and then she'll tell me, But ask me whatever question you want to know.
Samson 1232 says there is no 80-year-old capable of doing anything, but why not try being the biggest 80-year-old in a casket?
Samson said there's no 80-year-olds plus that are jacked, but why don't I try to be the biggest 82-year-old? But I'm not going to be the biggest 82-year-old in a casket. I don't want. Doesn't do it for me. I've been there, done that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. It's like saying to Reggie Jackson, why don't you try to make a comeback? Even if you're 80, you hit so many home runs. Just practice, baby. You could go. You never know. Maybe you could I can't do that anymore. I don't have it in me to want to do that either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to sit there and be like going out and buying all the drugs and doing all that shit that I'd have to take to get to that big. But plus, I want to live. And I already am a big motherfucker for 64. If you see me, you see pictures of me or videos of me. You saw me, if you see the videos of me in Alabama, that's only training one time before I went out there, after not training at all, after having surgery and being in a hospital. Losing, I lost 26, 27 pounds being in a hospital, And I still came out jacked. As a matter of fact, the nurses knew, dude, you are fucking jacked, because I cannot train at all and do nothing, and I'd still build. You know what I mean? But that's because I trained 23 years natural. There you go.
Chris 718 says, hey, Greg, you look like Sam Sulek when you were younger. Big hair and all.
I did look like Sam Sulek when I was younger. I was jacked as a teenager, and I did. I had that big afro like this, So thank you. I appreciate that.
I think you see that. Be able to see the comments in there. No, right?
Yeah, Lou, I can't read that.
I know.
You're crazy. She's over here trying to show me like a what's that thing called?
iPad.
The iPad. You know, like here, you can read the comments here. You know, I can't see. You understand? For me to read the comments, I got to do this shit again, and I got to go real close. John Mancini, I see John Mancini on here. Hey, what's going on, John? I got to get my face real close to the computer.
Here, he said, you got to be careful with the side effects, especially.
What side effects of
I
what?
guess he's talking about when you were talking about
The steroids, yes.
Yeah,
I don't want, you know, again, I'm freaking 64 years old. I'm fucking jacked, guys. I mean, this is me. You know what I mean? You can take away the testosterone. It's not going to change anything on me. You know what I mean? It's I'm only doing 200 milligrams, and I don't do it all the time. You know, once every 10 days. But it does nothing for my physique. You know what it does? Me helps the brain stay smart. Helps the Pichuli God stay fucking up. You know, because I got to take care of that one. And you know, joints don't ache as much. I feel better. That's really what it does. You know, you got to start going up on the milligrams in order for that to make a difference. You know, at 64 years old, it's just a deficit. There's a hole there. All that's doing is filling the hole. It's not building up anything. You understand? I could do it very easy. I'm a hyper responder, bro. In 2 weeks, I could sit on this thing and you'll be like, what the fuck, bro? Look at how much you look bigger than you did 2 weeks ago. But, dude, I am not going to put that stress on my heart. It ain't happening. You know what I mean? I don't, you know. As it is, I've had enough bullshit happen to me between, you know, all the other different surgeries I've had to have and stuff. I'm not going to freaking add that on. You know what I mean?
Somebody said, Alaric 87. I guess I can ask here. I want to send you something in the mail. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. You can ask me any. Listen, Alaric, what is it? Alaric what?
Alaric 87. To you via their Instagram.
Alaric 87. He said he contacted me Instagram, and I didn't.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, you could if you talk to my girlfriend, message me off the website. She'll get it. I'll read it too.
What's his name?
Greg at it's Greg at GREGVALENTINO.net.com.
What's his name on Instagram?
You just write your name in there, and then we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make sure he's legit. He's not one of these guys fucking around. You know what I'm saying? You got to prove, you know. I don't just give out any address to fuck around. You know, you could be one of them haters, make it believe, oh, I want to send you something. Like, you know, like anthrax or something.
You actually have a few requests on your Instagram.
What happened?
You actually have a few requests on Instagram. Somebody's asking you, do you offer fitness? Blah, blah, blah.
All right. Let's get back to this. Don't worry about Instagram. So read these questions. These guys are asking me stuff.
Greg, love the content and appreciate the time you put into YouTube.
Thank you.
When's the Delp video coming? I've been waiting 5 years and my deltoids are so small.
Who wrote that?
Harley is his name.
Harley, if you waited 5 years, you could wait another 5 years. Now I'm fucking with you with the Delp video. You guys are funny. Because you know what's going to happen if I do the Delp video and put it out? It's not going to get the views and all that shit. I'm going to be like, what happened to all you guys? It's like, yeah, dude, you get T-shirts? Dude, I'm buying one. I'm going to get them. When I had the T-shirts, it was like crickets. Lee Priest did the same thing. Still got fucking shirts that he fucking made up like 10 years ago. So do I. You know, so a lot of you guys are just, you know, I get it. It's ball breaking. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. What else?
Biggest man in the coffin.
Biggest man in the coffin. No, I don't want to be that. You know what I mean? I don't want that title. So that's why I'm not gonna. You know, I don't want to get jacked anymore. I'm already fucking jacked. If you see me in person, I'm pretty fucking jacked. Go look at the videos of me with the guys at Alabama. That's one training thing. I'm already 10 pounds heavier than that. Just naturally gaining the weight back. You know, I'm still not what I was before I got the fucking gallbladder problem and all that shit. But you know, that's coming.
So that guy Harley said, my boy Steven, I've been asking every live stream. We're going to keep an eye on you about it. He's talking about the Delphi.
Okay, well, that's okay. That's okay. What's his name again?
Harley on that.
Okay, Harley, that's okay. You can bust my nuggets about it. I'm okay with that. Hey, one day I'll do it. I definitely am going to do it. I might do a Joe Zapata. We'll see.
Hold on. Hey, Greg, were you ever on Ripley's Believe It or Not holding a rope that was tied to another?
Yes. Who asked me that?
Danny Shelton.
Danny Shelton. Yes, that was me. That was on Ripley's Believe It or Not. And then, can I tell you something? I tied that guy in the fucking thing, and I didn't even tie the end of it. I just went like this and left it open, and they had to stop the tape and help him to get out because he couldn't get out. So that was so bullshit.
What was that for?
It was stupid. Some magician guy that can't get out of anything. I fucking hog tied, and I didn't even tie it. I just left it loose, open, so he can get out of it, and he couldn't get out of it. You know what I'm saying? They cut the tape and let him get out of it. He could not get out of that shit.
Jason Barry said, I'll buy a shirt, Greg. What do you have left?
I don't even know what's. No, Jason, I was just making a statement about about the shirts and because guys do that all the time. Dude, if you get that shit, I'll get it. And then all of a sudden you get it, and nobody fucking everybody.
You can
You know what I'm saying?
from the
But,
YouTube store.
Huh?
You can buy merch, a shirt. From
She's
the
saying you
YouTube
could get it from the YouTube store, but that's not the same like the ones that we have, is it? There was
No.
ones we had made up.
No,
Jason, you know what's funny? I think all that's left, I'm not sure. It's like Medium or some shit like that. I don't know. But if you go to the YouTube store, that's YouTube selling, not me. They give me a couple bucks on it. That's them. It gets shipped by them and all that shit.
I
So
just shared it.
she just shared it. When you see my name down there, that's not me. That's typing. That's her. Obviously, you don't see me typing it. That's Lucia. So you can get like shirts and all that shit from the YouTube store. But again, that's them that sends it out, prints it, and all that shit. I'm just a fucking Momo that they send me a couple bucks, and I'm not gonna lie, but you get like $5, $7, some shit. And I don't know what the hell they charge. It's like, what do they charge? Like $25, $30? I don't know what the hell they charge.
Greg,
It's a YouTube thing, you know what I mean?
Greg, I thought we already seen you do older delt video in the past. It was short and to the point. I know you did one in fact.
I've shown delts a little bit before. Yes. Who said that?
When we're attacked.
Oh, Winmore. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Winmore's right. I have shown a little bit about delts. Listen, I believe you do rear delts first. No matter what you guys do, don't go in the fucking gym and say, you know what, it's delt day today, so let me go over there, sit down on the fucking shoulder and start shoulder pressing from ice cold. That's the stupidest fucking thing. Okay, don't do that shit. It's just like don't go in there and start biceps and say, I'm going to start biceps. So I'm going to walk over ice cold, no pump, nothing, and just start curling a bar. Forget it. That's amateur hour. It's not good. You gotta, I don't start shit until there's a nice pump there, and I do rear delts first. Look, I haven't even done my shoulders. Look at my shoulders. I haven't done them since 2003? Something like that. I have naturally, when I was a kid, I had really big, broad shoulders delts. I have wide clavicles.
Kid Dynamite asks, you sell merchandise, Greg?
Do I sell merchandise? Kid Dynamite's asking.
YouTube store.
Yeah, the YouTube store. Like everybody YouTube, you get that option. So they sell, yes, on YouTube, but it's not, you're not like, it's not coming from like my house. Lucia, what are you, crazy? Oh, they don't give two shits. She's showing me like, look, a cup, a merchandise, just what you want for your coffee. No, yeah, they sell T-shirts, hats, all that stuff. Like that Momo Mafia, all that. They do it. For me, right? Did I have that chart like that we had where I'm pointing a picture of me where I'm going like stop being a Momo or something? Did I be a Momo? Are you sure they have all that?
I'll show you.
Okay, so if you look at the YouTube store under my name, GREGG VALENTINO, whatever, they, it comes from them. They print it, they package it up, so they send it out to you and everything. What? Oh, look, she's showing me. I don't know. This is what she's showing. Don't hit the screen. We don't want her to see porn. Whatever those things are, those are the shirts and all that stuff. That's some of the merchandise shit. You guys can see it. Just got to go to the fucking store.
YouTube
whatever. Again, that's YouTube doing that shit. They offer it to anybody who's got like a YouTube. Joe Zapata does it, all that. So like that. Dude, I'm the worst. Listen to me. I don't bullshit. I'm the worst businessman there is. I could be making tons of money doing a lot of other shit. I'm an asshole. I'm a really bad businessman. That's why when people ask me to do personal trainings, I wind up giving too much. And then I wind up like, I drain myself worrying about why you're not growing, or whatever. And then it affects me. Do you understand? So that's why sometimes I don't do it. You'll never hear me push that shit, It's on the website, but that's shit. That website hasn't been updated in like fucking 10, 15 years. Like where it says like my bio and all the TV shows I've been on. I've been on like fucking 20 more TV shows, a couple movies, other shit that's not even on there. You know what I mean? I got to update that shit. It's not even on there. All the shit I just did on Vice TV. I've been on Vice TV, a bunch of times. I did the 9 Lives of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the 9 Lives of fucking Hulk Hogan. I did this whole other thing with Vice TV, but there's also the movie channel that's coming out. I did a lot of shit. There's a ton of shit on here. Fucking Huffington Post Live, the fucking Lucia, what else? I did that movie, The Boost. I did all these other different things. There's a lot of shit. It's not on here. I just never update. I am the worst businessman you've ever met. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Britney Spears. When Britney Spears does a fucking show, she's just the talent Put her out there on stage, and she'll get out there and shake that cute little ass of hers, and her little belly button, and just jump around. Oops, I did it again. She does that, but she's not the one who books the shit, sells the merchandise. That's what you see. I'm bad at all that shit. I'm just, I can be the product, but I'm I'm worst businessman you've ever met in your life. Trust me, I'm bad. How they say money talks? Well, it does. Mine says goodbye. Anyway. Sorry for the rant.
When we're attacked, I was like, Lucia, the businesswoman, I don't blame her.
Yeah, Lucia's more of a business person than I am.
And when we're attacked, take advantage of all that life traffic when you have it.
All right, I see guys asking.
I'm looking to get larger, but not stupid jack. I know test or Anabar by themselves is okay, but would stacking them be okay?
Test and Anavor? Who asked that? I see
Gregory Johnson.
Gregory Johnson. Can you stack test and Anavor? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Is that what he's asking me?
Would it be okay to stack them?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? A lot of people do that. Of course. Yeah. Just be careful. Anavor's an oral. It's just like all you guys think that SARMs and all that shit are safe, and they're not. Anytime it's an oral, it's an oral. Anytime it goes there, it has to get broken down in the liver, and it puts a stress on the liver. Don't think it doesn't. It does. Just the thing with Anavar is it's not going to fucking give you bitch tits. It's it's not like pure DHT or any of that shit. So that's why it's not like going to convert to fucking estrogen and all that stuff. That's why people think, oh, it's a safe drug, but it's not for your liver. It's not safe. It's a strain. Wait, some guy here is asking me a question. Greg, best exercise to get quads back in quad size. I can't see.
What's his name?
John C or John G. I can't see. Or John Q.
Best exercise is to get quad size back after a quad tendon rupture repair. Thank you.
John, it depends on you, the person. I have narrow hips and I have big thighs. Okay. But my big thighs come from A, genetics, and B, I don't squat because I can't. I have narrow hips and I want hurt in the back and everything gets hurt and everything else. Okay. So I think reps, high reps, you walk on your legs are predominantly red fiber. Okay. Which means, slow twitch, it's going to take a lot of work to get the deep fibers down. All right. So I like the leg press. That's me. I don't know your body, but I can tell you whatever you do, if you normally do 30 reps, double it. Do 60 reps the same way you do 30 reps. And you watch how different your fucking legs start growing and shit and feel. Most guys stop way too early and they believe doing 6 reps with 10 plates on each side. Then ain't doing shit. All these guys are jacked because they're fucking loaded with juice. My legs are as big as a lot of these guys now, and I don't do any juice. I'm not on that shit. I only do testosterone replacement, and without testosterone replacement. When I was flexing my legs with Dave Palumbo down in Alabama, and he said, "Holy shit," my legs were. He was comparing my legs. He said, told Lee, his legs are better than yours. When he said that shit, I wasn't even doing legs. I wasn't, training, nothing. Because I just finished, my stay from the hospital and getting the globe. I still had stitches in my belly. So what I'm saying to you is that everybody's different. I know my body. I know guys with narrow hips are not good squatters. Guys with wide hips are good squatters. And I believe you got to put reps in there. Tom Platz used to take 315, do it 50, 60 times. He didn't stand there and do 4 reps with that shit. It's stupid. I'm just telling you. And you have to do ass to the grass. What happened?
Just sent you $4.99.
Oh, thank you, Terminator.
Greg, what's your opinion on underground gear? I'm about to use some. And did you sell any underground stuff, or was it all pharma stuff back in the day?
Okay, Terminator Juice asked a good question. What's my opinion on underground gear? I get scared of underground gear, okay? Because it means it was built underground. I know you guys are crazy with the trend, baby, trend. But trend, there's no such thing as trend. It's a knockoff of Parabone from France, which I took with no fucking, no trend cough, none of that shit, okay? When you make shit and that shit's coming from underground, you don't know what you're getting. A lot of times they spike everything with testosterone, so you make gains and you think, oh shit, this shit's legit. I made some gains, but it basically just, a lot of it's testosterone. I'm a little scared with the underground shit. I'd rather get pharmaceutical shit, but I get it. Today, it's not so easy. I get it. I had mostly pharmaceutical shit. I had a lot of European shit, but it was legit. I got legit shit. Back then, legit shit was a lot more prevalent. Now, it's very hard to get legit shit. I get that. So just be careful. There are kits that you can get. I know Palumbo sells one where you can test it and make sure that you're getting what you're getting. You understand what I'm saying? Again, I know guys, oh my God, I took DECA, and you don't get fucking jack from DECA. You know what I mean? DECA's not, if you're getting jacked, it's testosterone. DECA's a much more expensive drug to make than testosterone. Testosterone's a cheap ass nothing drug to make. So that's why they use it, you get instant results with testosterone.
Constitutional standard tells him, or they are not sanitary. You gotta know the source.
Yes, constitutional stacker's correct, Terminator. He's saying, or they cannot be sanitary. Whenever you're making stuff in a lab, you know what I mean? I believe that that's like different. Like, you know, I think that that's what it is with the trend. I think they use specific solvents, plus they're melting down pellets, which might have some sort of chemical in it. I don't know. All I know is I took Tren and I couldn't breathe. Lee told me, the Lee Priest and I've told you this, guys, many times. Lee Priest and I are good friends, right? But we don't talk about steroids. Never, ever, ever, ever. We don't talk about anything to do with bodybuilding when we're together. We talk about everything but bodybuilding. But the one thing that we did talk about when we did talk about steroids is, dude, you ever try Tren? Bro, that shit killed me. And he had the same problem I did, okay? Not everybody is legit. My friend took it out of the same bottle I did. He got no side effect. He took 250 milligrams of that shit. I took 50 milligrams. I thought I was going to die. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on the person. Plus, I don't know what those solvents are that they, excuse me, that they use to melt those pellets down or fucking convert shit. I'm not a chemist. You know, John Romano will be like, oh, no, wait a minute. You know, he seems, you know, I don't want to make my own juice. I've got to go buy the legit shit that's, you know, legit, knowing that it's, you know, processed in the right labs. What?
Somebody's saying nobody is making anything besides sometimes Anavar and Primo.
Nobody. Who said that?
Jake Tratt.
Jake Tratt. Tratt?
Jake Tratt.
Okay, Jake Tratt. You don't know what people are faking today. There's fake everything out there. There's fake water out there, for Christ's sake. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. You don't know what's fake and what's not fake. There's no, you know, it's not that everything, shit, they're on top of everything. All these labs, the fake labs are making the shit. Red Dragon. There's no fucking lab, but that's all somebody that made that, you know, whether they have a great reputation or not. It's not like that's some pharmaceutical company. You may be able to buy some of that in these like third world fucking pharmacies because they, you know, they buy bootleg shit themselves and sell it. But it's not a legitimate. You're not going to go with a prescription. Hey, I have a prescription here, and they're going to give you Red Dragon testosterone or something. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, unless it comes from a legit pharmacy, you know, I have doubts everything. It's just the way I am, though. You know what I mean? When I was, you know, back in my day, we would get Winstrol. You know what I'm saying? And if that shit fucking settled on the bottom and, you know, so you got to shake it. If it looked like skim milk, sometimes it was like fucking, it was tesipinate. You know what I'm saying? Not tesipinate. Jesus. Test suspension. Because test suspension's like the cheapest drug on the earth there is to make. Okay, but then you get it and you put it in an ampule and you sell it as Winstrol, which is a much more expensive drug. But guys are taking that shit, go, dude, this Winstrol's kicking my fucking ass, bro. Look at this shit. And it shouldn't be kicking your ass. Plus, you give that to a girl, all of a sudden she's starting to talk like this and stuff, you know? So I don't know. I'm not saying don't take it. I'm just saying be careful. And if you really suspect anything, buy a kit that will legitimately tell you this is legit or this isn't legit. There are kits out there now. Dave Palumbo sells them. I know, and I'm not trying to get Dave business. I don't know anybody else, but I'm sure there's other people. Buy from somebody else then, you know what I mean? But I would test the shit because I'm fucking paranoid. You know, I don't trust anybody with anything. Dude, hold on one second, let's see. When I was younger, back in the 80s, there was like American Bodybuilders and Universal, which is a very top company, was caught they had liquid protein, right? You came in like a shampoo bottle. You old school bodybuilders know what I'm talking about. It was a long, skinny, like bottle with like, look at that shampoo. And you drink that shit and it tasted like Kool-Aid. You know why? Because that's what it was. There was zero protein in that shit. They would say 50 grams. It was so sweet though. You could feel I would feel my goddamn pancreas pumping insulin and shit, you know, because it was loaded with sugar. And it tasted great, you know. It was like very sweet. You buy the like watermelon flavor or strawberry flavor, you're like, holy shit. But real amino acids are like sour and nasty, you know. Then Nature's Best came out, and you buy that shit, or Steve Blackman had there was liquid amino fuel, and that shit tasted like you were drinking like stomach bile after you vomit. You know what I mean? Like that, because that's what amino acids really taste like shit. You know, Dorian Yates used to have a supplement. I forgot what it was, but Robbie Duran used to tell me, I swear to God, he urinated in a bottle and I'm drinking that shit. He told Dorian, this, but it worked. It was legit. But that's what real supplements taste like shit, you know? So if they would fake, you know, these protein drinks that we were drinking back then, and Universal got in trouble for it. This is the early 80s, so simmer down. I'm not knocking Universal now, okay? And American bodybuilders and all that shit, they had a liquid protein. You know where they were getting it from? The same people that make YouTube. Yoo-hoo. Okay, you know how much protein was in that? Like 2 grams. And you know, the can was like this. It came a pop off, and you drink it, and you know, and it tasted fucking great. Look at this chocolate milk. It tastes almost like Yoo-hoo. Meanwhile, that's because it was, you know.
Wallace Michael asked, can you hit
so if they would fake, wait, hold on. If they would fake that shit, trust me, they're gonna fake Jews.
Wallace Michael asked, can you hit the 90 miles per hour fastball yet?
Listen, who said that? Wallace Michael?
Yeah.
Wallace Michael, you're talking about the bigger, stronger, faster. First of all, if you watch, they don't show it. I say it later on, you know, when I opened up the Tribeca Film Festival for the Bell Brothers. Not them, for Mark Cuban, because that's the guy who owns film. He took me over to Bell Brothers, so not for nothing, I'm the one who opened that. Okay, and I love the Bell Brothers. They're my boys.
Is there footage?
What? Oh, I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I open up the Tribeca. They'll tell you. And I hit like the first 8 fastballs, but then after that I couldn't hit him. I mean, you know, I was like 40-something years old when I made that. You know what I mean? I was already coming down from being on a lot of steroids. You know, I could fucking my air. It was more like the wind. I couldn't fucking stick up. Can I hit a 90 mile an hour fastball right now? I can't hit off a tee. You know what I'm saying? So no, there's your answer. I can't. No, but back then, that's over 20. It's like 20 years ago we made that movie, and you know, I did hit some of them, but then they showed me miss because I couldn't swing in one. I was like this, you know what I mean? I was out of breath, you know. So what were we gonna do? It was funny though, right?
Jake tried
Steroids are American as apple pie, and don't forget, whenever you hear that, there's your guy who said it. I made up a lot of those quotes, you know.
Greg, have you ever used DHB?
Have I ever used what?
DHB.
DHT or DHD? What the fuck is that?
They probably mean DHT, but there's
DHT?
It's written DHD.
Dihydrotestosterone?
It's written
No, I never took pure DHT. And I don't know what DHD is. Jake, I don't know. I have no idea what that is. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Remember, I'm old school. There's a new shit that's around now. All this shit right now. First of all, a lot of that shit. Test 400. They don't make Test 400. That's a bootleg drug. I'm just telling you that now. There's no pharmacy on this planet that gets legit shit that was made in a pharmacy lab. GHB or
DHB?
Never heard of it. Don't know what DHB is. Never heard of it. No, I don't.
It says dihydroboldenone.
No, boldenone. No, I never took DHB.
It's old. He said it's old.
What's the legit name for it?
Can we Google it?
No, don't worry about it. If he'll tell me. No, I don't. I'm a basic guy, bro. I never took GH. I never took IGF. I never took any of that shit. I'm a testosterone junkie. Took lots of tests. I took, you know, D-ball. I liked Sten, which was a dirty drug from Mexico. Loved that shit. Loved Sustanon. Loved testipinate, entonate, propionate. Propionate was my favorite. Used to fast acting. I don't think I ever took test suspension that I remember. I don't think so. Took a lot of Anadrol, you know, shit like that. That's the kind of shit I like. I love androgens. You understand what I'm saying? I love an androgen junkie. Give me them androgens. Love it. Bring it, you know?
That's the king, in my opinion.
I love Sustanon, bro. Love it. Love it. Used to love the Mexican preloads. Look, I'm getting hard just thinking about it. No, I'm kidding.
You
I love the Mexican preloads, and I loved the Russian sustenance. You know, they came in pop outs that were also in a little pop out itself, like a foil with a little plastic, and pop that bitch out, and whoo, fill the syringe. Why put one in there? You got air left. Why not just fill it up? So 3 fucking sustenance, bang. Another 3 sustenance, bang, like that. That's how it went, you know? Whole bottle. Half the bottle here, half the bottle there. There you go. That's how it went.
Gregory Johnson, I'm off to bed, but hope to catch you alive again soon. In the meantime, continue to take care of yourself, those around you, and remember to keep smiling.
Thank you, Gregory Johnson. You know, I knew a guy named Greg Johnson from the 80s that used to actually train in my gym. I don't know if you're him. If you were, you would let me know. You would have told me. And if you are saying that you're him, what gym was it that we trained at? But anyway, Gregory Johnson, thank you. I appreciate it. God bless you.
How difficult is it to get real IGF? And what did Rich mean when he said it's all fake?
Well, according to, I just watched even a video with my boy Victor. Back in the day, it was different, okay? But he even said, good luck with trying to get real IGF. I mean, you know, I don't fuck with that stuff. I never did. I have no interest in it. Okay. You know, Victor talks about it, Victor Martinez, you know, and he was just did a video with Generation Iron, and he talked about that. He said, good luck trying to get that shit.
He's not that Gregory.
Yeah, I think, no, I didn't think you were Gregory Johnson. No, I didn't think you were. You would have probably said, you would have told me, hey, it's Greg Johnson from, you know, but I thank you anyway, Gregory. God bless you, and get a good night's sleep, man. Thank you for being here. So what was I going to say? You know, like, I don't think it's, you're going to, like, that peptide is like, it's, you're not going to get the IGF that you want to get, according to these guys today. Again, when I was doing, when I was a drug dealer, that shit, I could get anything legit stuff. I had the beeline to that stuff, you know what I mean? And it's not around now, you know? You got the whole fucking, you know, the little branch of peptide there, you know, the little, whatever that thing was, you know, it's not around now. It's not like that anymore. When you talk to the guys that from back then, they all tell me, you know, it's not like that. Now, out in the Middle East, the reason why those guys are such monsters is because they have their own chemists. They'll create, they can make whatever, you know, they can create that. They don't have to worry about a government breaking down their door, you know, or getting the raw products. They can do all that shit. But, you know, it's illegal pretty much everywhere else.
In Italy?
I mean, Stanley, you can't make that stuff, you know. It's not, you know, they're not gonna, you know, I don't know any country that's gonna allow you to do that. But in those countries, they don't have to worry about people doing that shit. They got their own labs doing it, and nobody's gonna say anything because that's the way that shit is. Now, don't worry about Italy. Just go ahead, read these.
Would you like making a living out of YouTube one day? What? I can't read the rest of that. Or you just making these live streams for pure fun?
I do these live streams for fun. I'm not making no living. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Santiago Fabiano. I mean, would I like to make a living out of it? I would. If I made a living out of it, it would be a lot better. You wouldn't be seeing me with a fucking, look, an air conditioner right there. You know, I don't know if you hear it going on. You see the cord behind my head. You know, I wouldn't be sitting here like that. I'd be doing a lot more quality videos, and I'd be doing them more frequent. So if I did make a living out of it, that would have to be the case. I do this. I mean, I just, I'm not making no money. I mean, somebody just made, you know, Terminator just, you know, donated $4.99. I'm not, you know, that doesn't even build up to any. You'd have to get 1 million of those to build up so they pay you. So it's not like I'm making Scott doing this.
Constitution of Stacker says, well, live streams don't pay hardly any ad revenue. Trust me on that.
Yeah, constitutional status is correct. It's not making no Scott. I'm doing this because I'm doing it. It's Friday night. I figured, you know, if I wanted to make money, trust me, I would be doing personal trainings and all this other stuff. You know, a lot of these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. They have no background. I've been in the gym with Arnold. I didn't train with him. Like, oh my God. Wait a minute, hold on. I didn't train where me and him are partners. Like, here, you go, I go. But there's Arnold right there. Look, there he is right there. He's doing cable rows. Or, you know, he's doing side laterals right there. And I'm over here doing biceps or something. But, I mean, you know, I talk to him and I'd watch and, you know, you'd be watching. And I'm saying, so, you know, I've been doing this since 1972. Okay, most of you guys weren't even born. Your parents didn't even know your mother yet. Okay, each other. So what I'm saying is, I bring a lot of knowledge here, and I know I don't give a person, just like when a guy just asked me about what can I do for my legs. I don't have this cookie cutter, as my boy says. I don't have this cookie cutter fucking routine that I would give you. I'd have to find out what's right for you. You know what I mean? I don't have the fucking not the balls. I put too much, I wear myself out trying to help people. And then what happens is I'm like this at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's why I don't do it. But I could do that shit. And I know I'm better. I feel, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I feel like I'm better than anybody because I go by the few people I help, friends and stuff. I've helped a lot. Trust me, I've changed their lives with stuff. Not just this, but with other shit. But the thing is, because I fucking it's a blank. Each one of you guys is a blank slate. You understand that? Hold on. Each one of you guys is a blank slate. And that's how we got to start. I don't know what's right for you. I got to figure that out. I got to find out what you're doing wrong and figure it out. Maybe you do. Maybe squats hit you like a motherfucker. So then we work with squats. But it's how you do it, the format with the reps and all the other shit. It's different things. So I don't have a cookie cutter, do what I do and look like me. It's not going to be that way. I can tell you that now. I tell kids, when kids in the gym ask me for help and I help them, I tell them, don't do what you see me doing. Do not do that. First, let's see what's right for you. And then, it works like that. Everybody's a blank slate. So if you have a coach that sends you, I just hired this guy, Joe Matarazzi. Wait a second, let's see it. I just hired this guy, Joe Matarazzi, and he sent me this workout. How does he fucking know that that's going to work for you? Why? Because it works for him? Or because he sends it to everybody, the same workout? You have your best friend, let's say, that pays the same guy, and all of a sudden he gets the same workout in the mail. Bullshit. That's bullshit. And I don't do that shit, and I won't do that shit, so that's why I don't do personal trainings. You know what I mean? That's why I don't. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Constitutional Snacker says, and Google takes half of your super chat.
Yes, Constitutional Snacker is correct. Google does take most of your money. A lot of you got to listen. Even when you see these people like doing OnlyFans and all that shit, right? OnlyFans. Oh, he's making $100. If somebody makes $100,000 in a year or a month or whatever it is, right? They don't get that $100,000. First of all, you got to pay taxes on that shit. Second of all, OnlyFans takes 20 out of that, 20%. So from 100,000, now you're down to 80,000. Uncle Sam's like, okay, wait a minute now. Now it's still good money. Don't get me wrong. They might come out with half of that money, but you still got to spend. You'd be shocked. It's not like, oh God, that goes right into the bank. You know what I'm saying? So, don't think that that's like, the be all end all. Now, you people, young people today, you people have created these people that don't want to work. That's the problem with this country. Everybody wants to just, I want to be like a content creator, where I like to do YouTube, Instagram, and, OnlyFans, and, so they want to make all this money, TikTok. But what happens when the new guy comes in, like the new girl in town, and shit gets recycled after a while? It's like looking at the same Playboy. Remember when you were a kid, you look at that Playboy magazine, and you're like, oh, hell, hi. You know what I mean? You show the gods like this, and you're sitting there. After you look at it 20 times, you're like, I've seen that already. I'm waiting for the next issue. Well, that's what happens even with this shit. I mean, look at Cali Muscle, people like that. You know what I mean? And, not making a shot all you made. I saw he just did a video, and he had 250-something views live. That's it. That guy used to get 200-something thousand in the first fucking 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Now he's Sunday's news on Monday. That's going to happen. Even the hot chick. What are you going to do 20 years from now? Yeah, I'm still doing OnlyFans. Yeah, just raking it in. It doesn't happen like that. You can only look at the same Playboy so much. That's the way I look at it. So, I mean, listen. Look at a chick that just did the Hawk 2 shit, right? I actually like that girl. And let me explain to you why. I feel bad for her. I think that she's just you know what she is? She's just the girl who got hit with a lottery ticket. Everybody's all pissed off. Look at how much money she's making. She's everywhere now. Oh, God. You guys made her that way. All she did was say, I got Hawk 2 on that thing. And all of a sudden, all these guys like, oh my God, man, I guess you guys don't get blowjobs or something like that because, I get them every night, so I don't give a shit. I don't, she's sitting right here. So I don't see what the fuck, but you guys made that happen. Okay, so now, this girl's making a lot of money and everybody's jealous and saying, and I say, you know what, good for her. because she doesn't even. I seen her. She's almost like starstruck when she's on there, like Bill Maher. And she's like, and she's talking. It's almost like she's a kid. My grandma won't let me do stuff like this. And, she doesn't know. You know what I mean? She's like innocent. She's an innocent person who just got lucky. She got lucky. She got the winning lottery ticket. She said something that who knew the fuck that was going to jump into the way it is, but it's all you horny motherfuckers that take that shit and run with that stuff and think like, oh God, have pie. She's a cute girl. Now all of a sudden she's really cleaning it up, tanning, the hair's more blonde, doing the nice outfits, and I don't blame her. I hope she makes millions of dollars. I hope she socks it away and makes millions of dollars with it, because I, for one, I've seen little videos of her. She's an innocent kid. She doesn't even know how to take all this fame. She's almost like, holy shit, how the fuck did this happen? I was just, it's like plucking a minnow out of the ocean and turning it into a great white. You know what I'm saying? Now this minnow, who's a minnow, swimming with all the other minnows, now a great white. And she almost doesn't know how to and I see the innocence in her in it. She's like, holy shit. Like, now I'm a celebrity? Like, what? You know what I mean? Good for her. But you guys made that shit happen like that. And you guys that fucking support these OnlyFans, any chick with even this much looks, this much, goes on Instagram and pumps and shows her ass, or let me show you this new outfit I got. And you guys are like, oh, yeah, pie, she's so hot. Let me follow her. And that's what happens. And she got zero talent. What talent, right? There's no talent there, right? Some Instagram chick, but she's got a tits and ass. That's all. And she's sometimes they're not even that good looking. I go to the mall over here and see better looking chicks walking around the mall. You guys made it that way. That's the way I look at it anyway. What happened? Sorry guys, I go on a rant, get a little root beer here. Diet root beer. Of course.
I used to crack 12,060,000 views. Now I'm lucky to get 1,000 constitutional stacker.
Constitutional stacker. Join the club. I don't know what happened. When that shit hit with me and Dave, when we had the little boo-ha a couple months ago. I forgot what it was over. What was that shit over, Lucia?
The tips, probably?
It wasn't. Was it the tips?
Steroid?
No, yeah, but it wasn't when John was on here. What was that about, though? What was the subject matter, though? I don't remember. Anyway, when the boo-ha hit, I lost 200 people off my YouTube. I have no idea why. Just 200 people. I made a video and, I said my piece, my side to it. I lost 200 people and I never gained it back. And all of a sudden now my videos aren't getting the hits that they were. I don't know what happened, Constitutional Stacker. It happens though. It happens. You can't rely on this. You cannot rely on this, guys. Wait a minute. Corona. Listen to me. Let me wake you fucking all up. All of them. Okay? You got the OnlyFans, you got a fucking Instagram, your TikTok, whatever, this shit right here. Okay? All you have to do is say one wrong thing, and this channel's gone. Look at Nick Trigilli. Boom. Gone. One day you're making all this, I got 2 million followers, I'm making X amount of dollars. If you say the wrong thing, this channel's gone. Now what are you going to do? If you've been relying on this, what do you do? What do you do? I don't really know Nick Trigilli. I feel bad for the guy. I do. I'm not against him. I feel bad for him. To lose your channel, it sucks, man. You're making Scott all. You know what I mean? Wait, hold on. You're making Scott all 1 minute, and the next minute, say one wrong thing. Say something about that they don't like that's anti-gay or anti-whatever. Say anything that's unwoke. And they want to put the kibosh to you. They do. Lee Priest lost his whole Instagram channel. All right, he had like 1 million followers. He lost the whole thing. Now it's back, and he's almost at 1 million again. But he had to rebuild the whole thing up. If you relied on that for payment, if this is all you do to make money, woo, you're in trouble because you have to sit there and you gotta walk through eggshells because the bigger you get, the more haters you get. And the more haters you get, the more people want to I'm going to get him. I'm going to complain because he said something about gays or he said something, whatever, in the wrong direction. And then there goes your channel right down the fucking bowl, right? So now what you were making Scott all on is gone. What do you do? What happens if some chick does something wrong on OnlyFans or whatever? She loses her channel. She says something fucked up or some TikTok guy says something wrong and he's making I make $100,000 a month. and all of a sudden that shit goes south. What happens? Now you're making nothing a month. All right, but you're still driving around in a Bentley and this other shit. So you're living this lifestyle. You know what I mean? Not me, bro. I still got. You could give me a Bentley, I'll sell it and still drive the fucking hoopties that I drive now. You know, because you got to sock the money away. I learned that the hard way. I made a lot of money drug dealing. Cops came and took it away. You know what I mean?
Constitutional standard says I have 5 income streams, so I'm not concerned, but it does piss me off.
But Constitutional Stacker said he has 5 income streams, and it pisses him off. And Constitutional Stacker, I get it. But you know what happens? Listen to me. Listen. You may have 5 streams, but these fucking things are all connected. Remember, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook are all owned by Meta. Okay, YouTube is very, very, very sensitive about things. I'm just telling you. You know, I had a video because I was in a I was at a party or a nightclub or something once, and I had a video, and I'm inside, like, you know, there's nothing I do. There's music playing in the background. Oh no, it was actually, yeah. And the music was playing in the background. Then they put the kibosh to the video because it said, I broke copyright. I didn't put that music there. It happened to be in the area that I was in. You know what I mean? It's just, they're very sensitive. And sometimes one will lead to another. You know what I mean? You have no idea. All I know is, you get haters, and, they can bring you down quick. Again, poor Nick Trigilli. I feel bad for the guy, People don't like him, then they'll start with him on Instagram too. If they can get him off there, they'll get him off there. You know what I mean?
While my channel has tanked, I do get a fair amount of sponsored videos that pay $500 a pop.
But Constitutional Stacker, I get it that you get sponsors, okay, that pay you. Okay, God bless you, all right? But you have to understand something. That if you don't have a channel, they're not going to pay you either. Gabish, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm not putting out, I'm on your side, bro. I'm on your side. I'm just saying that these people that rely on this and only this, it's not good. Because especially as you get older, your Sunday's news on Monday. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. Bro, I was the top columnist in bodybuilding, bro. I wrote the Ramblin' Freak. Was the most read column in the whole magazine for years. You know what I mean? If I would have started I'm stupid. I didn't start this social media stuff till recently. I was doing like a little shit here and there, nothing much. But I had a flip phone. You know what I mean? All proud of it and everything. And now, here I am, only 6 months into having a regular, I still don't know how to use it. She'll tell you. She does all my work on it. I had to answer a fucking thing and maybe text message back. That's it.
That's what Glenn wants says over here. That we need more than 9 to 5 jobs. And then Constitutional Stacker says, invest, brother.
Yes, Constitutional Stacker is correct. If you know what the smartest thing is? Danielle Bregoli. You know what Danielle Bregoli is? Catch me outside, right? Remember that bitch?
Your sister.
Huh?
Your sister.
What? No. Forget that. I told you, get your own show if you get that. Listen to me. Danielle Bregoli she took like the Hot 2 girl, right? My advice to her is just take all the shit all you make. Don't go out and buy new cars, do all that shit. Invest. Okay, invest in. Danielle Bregoli invested in properties, bought up like tons of properties and stuff. She's now like a land baron. You understand? Because she knew that this may end. Okay, this may end. Like the Hot 2 girl. She goes around, does all the circuits. She's doing all the talk shows. She's doing good now. All of a sudden, she's a celebrity. What's her celebrity status? What's she known for? Saying Hot 2. Let's spit on that thing. I mean, what? Okay, good for her. But now take that money. If you're I doubt she's watching here. I'm just a fucking momo. But whatever. If you're watching, take that fucking money and sock it away. Put it in properties. Shit that, don't go out and buy cars with it because that's useless. That shit, you buy a car, it's worth shit. Go out and fucking buy properties, invest that money in investments, get somebody that's smart that knows how to do that, and that's what you do. And then you live off that. You know what I mean? The smart guys live off of, investments and everything else. Their money makes money for them. Don't look at me. I'm the fucking, again, my money talks and says goodbye. So I'm just saying, don't do what I did. Go ahead.
Question. How are you able to take 10-second breaks between sets and pump out another 15 to 30 reps? That's not enough time.
Who said that?
To do even 8 quality reps.
All right, who said that?
Chaldean.
Who?
Chaldean.
Chaldean wants to know about me doing 10-second rest. You know why, Chaldean? Because you're not used to it. I am. I've been doing that for my whole. I do 5 seconds with some stuff. There's no reason to get all this rest. Yeah, I do 5 seconds. When you see me do leg curl, she'll tell you. She's in the gym. You can take my shirt and fucking wring it out like this, and fucking water comes, sweat. Okay, I'm used to that. I'm used to it. 8 reps is fucking. Your body's like, what? Even Mike Menser, who's the king of heavy duty. All you guys think heavy duty just means lift heavy weights. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. Mike Menser said the set doesn't begin until you've done 8 to 9 reps. That's when the set begins. I agree with him. So. But I do a lot of reps, a lot of sets rather, with very little time between sets. That depends. There's certain exercises you've got to do a little longer for. Okay. But the thing is I built up to that. If I made you go run a track right now, and I made you run real fast around a track, you may puke after one lap. But if I made you do that all the time and we worked up to it, before you know it, like Rocky. Remember when Rocky first started running? You know, and at first Rocky won, he couldn't run around a block. He was already like, but by the end, he's like, da-da-da, he's running up steps and shit like that. Because you got to build up to it. But you got to start somewhere. So you could start slowly cutting down your rest periods until you're at the point where you can handle it. That's the way to do it.
Adil Torres says, what's up, Greg?
Adil, how you doing, my brother?
And Constitutional Stacker said, I'll pick 2-3 body parts and hammer out 30 plus sets for each one, in and out in 45 minutes.
Okay, Constitutional Stackers basically saying kind of what I see. I do a lot of sets. Listen, Schwarzenegger used to do like 40, 50 sets for body part, and he would do that 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, like that. That's how he used to do it. That's how they all used to do it back then. Each body part got hit 3 times a week.
Yeah, Constitutional Stacker wrote, you just don't stop. But what's it? Thighs, calves, shoulders, whatever your breaks
right.
Are when you hit the other body part.
Yeah, Constitutional Stacker, I like you. You think a lot like me. But the thing is this. But with some of these guys, they're not used to it. You can't just take a guy and tell him, look, you need to run 2 miles a day and put him on a track and force him to run. Put a fucking pit bull behind him and let it chase him around. He's not going to make it because he's not used to it. You got to build up to it. Like anything else, you got to build up to it. If that's your goal, start cutting down your rest periods and start making your muscle do the work by putting some fucking reps in there. You got to get the deep fibers. When you do a couple reps, imagine if you, listen, think about legs. Listen, if every time you squatted, you did 6 reps, and now you think that's going to do anything, you're out of your mind. I don't care how heavy you go. You're not getting those deep reps. If that was the case, and you had nothing but fast twitch white fiber muscle in your legs, you wouldn't be able to walk 20 feet without having to say, I got to sit down. My legs, I can't walk in front of it. They're pumped. They're exhausted. It's not made that way. We're made to walk on our legs. You gabish? You understand that?
Constitutional Stacker says, we are spirit animals. I will hit you on IG and Facebook tonight.
Okay, Constitutional Stacker, thank you. I just, listen, you can't just jump in and just do that because I'm telling you to do it. You have to, have a plan, and you got to do it, work your way into it. Just start cutting your rest periods down. Who needs all this rest? I see these guys do a set of pull downs like this, right on a cable. Then they sit there and they're sitting on a cable and they're playing games or maybe texting with their girlfriend and looking at Facebook and shit. And then 5 minutes later, they do another set for cables. For cable, where's the intensity? If you're fighting a dude, right, and you're boxing, and you got a guy in a ropes, you don't hit him 2 or 3 times and let him get his fucking wits about him. You fucking finish him off. You keep hitting him until he goes. You don't sit there. Let me step back so you can get your fucking head back. You understand? You got him wobbled. You got to finish him off. You gotta get your body, but you gotta keep doing it. You gotta beat that body. You gotta make that muscle go, okay, all right. Start pulling the deeper fibers into play because you've exhausted the outer fibers. And see, that's what you have to do. Capiche? But I understand a lot of you guys can't do that because you're not used to doing it that way. You're not trained that way. You gotta work into it, You can't, I can't force you to run a mile in a certain amount of time. You're going to have to build up to it, just like Rocky did. In the first Rocky movie, he couldn't run up those steps. If you remember, he walked up the steps, and he stood up there, and the music was all dreary and shit, and he was running, holding his hip like this, all slow. And by the end of the movie, he's like fucking, he's running and shit and jogging up them steps, sprinting up them steps, But he built himself up to that because he did it every day until he worked it. That's what you got to do. Bish. You know? What else?
I see that he followed you or whatever on Facebook, but we can't really
Who?
message him or anything. Constitutional stack.
He said a constitutional sacrifice talk about it. He said it was a message on Instagram. So he just
Greg,
looked.
what do you use as a pre-workout, if anything?
What do I use as a pre-workout? See this right here? This is not root beer soda. This, if you know anything about A&W, it's not clear, and that's not water. That's Bang right there. So I'll put Bang in here. Why do you put Bang in a bottle? Very simple, because Bang comes in a can. So if I pop open the top of Bang, I don't drink a can. I can't drink that shit in one. What are you, crazy? For me, that would kill me. So I'll put it in a bottle like this, right? So it doesn't go flat, and I can store it. And I could knock it over. It's not going to spill, okay? But if I'm going to go to the gym, I'll show you, because I'm not going to bed. I got to do 2 sips. 1, 2. That's it. Leave it alone. Let it get in me. Now pop right here, game face. I'll pop 2 of these fuckers. I'll pop 2 right now. Because me and her are going out after. 1, 2. I'll game face. With them, because that gets the brain going a little bit. And that's it. That's what I do. Okay? That's my pre-workout. The whole idea is you got to bring it up slow. You don't fucking just drink a whole fucking can of like Monster or one of those things. I got to swallow it. Oh, look. You hear it? I bit him. Oh! It tastes like ashes. Like cigarette.
Greg, that's next to
Wait, hold on. I bite them so that they get like wet. So when they go down, you ever eat a capsule of shit and then you burp and it's like smoke or fucking capsule shit comes out of your mouth like powder? Like, you know what I mean? I do that because I've had a bad experience years ago with that shit. So now I bite everything. I bite the capsules. I bite the pills unless it's something that you're not supposed to bite. So that's what I do. And the Bang or whatever your drink of choice is, whether it's Red Bull, you do a sip or 2 sips. That's it. Then you see. If you need a little bit more, you get another sip or 2. That's it. Till you feel like, ooh, I'm feeling this shit. I don't want to drink the whole fucking can where I'm fucked up and you almost like too fucking high, flying too high, and then you can't function right, where you're shitting and pissing your brains out and your dick is this big because you got that swimming pool dick. I don't want to do that. So it's a little bit. There you go. Go ahead. What else? I see all these questions here. You got to ask me.
He says he's all lady, pretty badass.
Who?
Who's he talking about?
Okay, but read I see on
there. He said thanks for the follow on IG just now and on YouTube the other day. Greg is the man.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Constitution.
Greg, I'd like to ask you, do you think having a felony really affects you in 2024? I know your story and always wonder how you deal with it because making money is difficult if you have a felony.
Yeah, who asked me that?
Kid Dynamite.
Okay, Kid Dynamite wants to know if having a felony. I have a few felonies on me from a long time ago, including I had 2 handguns, so all that shit. But I don't think it really, today they got people, they're hiring people that are felons and shit like that. It depends on. I don't think it. Even if you're going to go be an executive for a big corporation, they might want to ask you about it. But today, you could change your sex. You can identify as a fucking German Shepherd, and they're not supposed to, they're not supposed to judge you by that shit. I don't know. It could affect you, Kid Dynamite. It could. Mine's 25 years ago. So it's like, my shit's fucking. Plus, I'm not going for no jobs or any of that stuff. Who the fuck wants to hire my fucking old ass?
We have felons in the White House.
Yeah, we have felons in the White House. Who's a felon in the White House?
I don't know, but
you mean Trump? Trump's not no felon. That's all bullshit, and that's going to get the kibosh.
Maybe something on Hunter Biden. I don't know.
No, Hunter Biden. Forget about it. Go ahead. Next.
Tell me one rear delt workout, please. It's hard for me to get a bump.
Who's saying that?
A pump there.
Charlene. If you're going to do rear delts, you're asking about a rear delt. I do like the machine, cut to the chase, but if you're going to do bent overs, most guys do bent overs wrong. You can't, I can't really do it here, but I'm just saying, I see these guys taking dumbbells going like this way. What the fuck is that? What's this? Okay, that's the middle of your back. You have to almost go out in like a Y, like this, in a Y, not like back like this and your arms bent and doing this shit. Most guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. I have to do it in a gym with dumbbells. You'd have to see. You know, you could do it on a bench or whatever. You want to put your face on a bench. Some guys like that. Okay, you got to be a little bit down more. But the thing is, you got to do more like a Y, like this, not like this. That's the middle of your back. You guys don't know that? Come on, man. You know? So most guys don't do it right. That's also why they don't have big rib delts. You can do it with a, I used to do it also with a cable, like this. But again, it's not back or back sideways. It's more like a Y, like this. I can't, you know, I'm on this wall right here. But you understand what I'm saying. I'll have to show you. But most guys don't do it right. That's why the rib delts suck. You know, you got to get rid of your rib delts. What creates that, like, you know, that shelf square look. And, you know, not your side delts and not your, certainly not your front delts. All that pressing shit. You know, you don't even have to train your front delts, for Christ's sake. You're doing a lot of benching and other shit. Your front delts are going to be jumping. My front delts jump. Okay, next.
Break into the story where your mother-in-law threw a fart and your neighbor thought it was a Cosmo and shot the dog in the ass with a BB gun.
He shot him in the dick. He shot the dog with a BB gun. It's my next door neighbor right on the other side of this wall. Shot him, the dog, this to shut him up at 2 a.m. because my mother-in-law threw a fart in that room out there. It was so fucking loud you could hear it outside. And he shot the dog and it hit the dog in the dick. Is that fucked up? I'm going to tell, I know you guys are dying for mother-in-law stories. I get, she's sitting right here, my girlfriend. It's her mother. She's a nice guy, her mother. But, now I'll give you some good mother-in-law stories. We got a million of them, me and her. Like, just like a stack of them. You know what I mean? Like a ton. I got her some really good ones. It's just a matter of like, Jesus, which one do I even tell? Because I haven't told one in years. So I got like 5 years or more of mother-in-law stories just built up because she's so fucked up, you know? Yes, she is. She's like, no, she's not. Yes, she is. You're talking about your mother, that's why. So she, yeah, the dog, my mother farted in the bedroom back there. It was so loud that my neighbor, it's made the dog bark next door, like 2 a.m. He heard that, and I guess he was barking, you know, going crazy. My next door neighbor was so pissed, he fucking stood outside. It's his dog, and he shot it right. He kept shooting it with the BB gun and shut it up, and he hit it right in the dick. That's from a fart. That was so loud, and 2 o'clock. Like, listen, you're 2 o'clock in the morning. It's really quiet, and it's summer. The windows open and shit, and you hear like this and shit. And the dog's you know, fucking freaking out. So he goes out with the BB gun like this, and he hits it in the nutsack. That's her mother. Go ahead.
People laughing.
She's like that. People are laughing now, you know, because she's protective of her. Not really. She knows her mother. She just said, no, I don't care. See, because she knows her mother's fucked up.
The guy said, what is she eating?
What does she eat? What doesn't she eat?
Yeah, right.
Her back tits are bigger than her front tits. You know, when a girl is when they wear the bra and the fucking fat hangs over the bra, it looks like 2 back tits, you know? She's a nice guy. She says to me, because she's like 4'11", fucking 350 pounds and shit. She says to me, it's not 350, maybe 300, but whatever. She's saying to me, look, you know, like, you know, you got big legs. Look at these calves. Showing this calf. Look like King Henry VIII with the fucking big thing that he eats, you know? It's this big fucking giant thing like this. And I told her, you got to have big calves to hold up that big fucking upper body. You know what I mean? It's like this. It's not muscle. It's fat anyway, but it's like this. And I'm like, that's disgusting. You know, and by the way, shave them toes. But anyway, we'll get into that. We'll do a nice mother-in-law story in that fucking thing.
What age would you say you were at your prime physique? Also, were you at your best before or during steroids? Since your arms got out of control.
What age was I at my what?
At your
prime?
At your prime physique.
Well,
Chaldine
wants to know what age was my prime physique. I mean, up until I took steroids, I think I was 35 when I started taking steroids. I looked really fucking good, bro. You have no idea. I looked really good. I had 20-inch fucking arm. I mean, it was built. Dave Palumbo always says, you know, Valentino was, he said I was one of the greatest naturals he ever saw. So I was really good, bro. You have no idea. The only natural that, you know, I thought could have possibly beat me was I've talked about this many times, Kai Green. you know, because we trained at the, you know, we would go to the same gym, you know, but when I first met him, I couldn't believe it, you know, because I was jacked. All the guys on Jews couldn't believe I was on Jews. I was jacked. But I'm not big, bro. You know what I mean? It's just that I create the illusion, you know, of being even bigger than I was, just like him, just like I grew up. But he was fucking unbelievable. He was just unbelievable. He had density, like, that was, like, really sick, you know? We were close in size, but he had the density. I was cut and hard and dense, but now his density was insane. So I would say like 35, and then I started taking the steroids. You know, the steroids, I went absolutely insane with. You know, obviously shot the arms with steroids and all that shit. You know, I know, believe me, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, I'm no Johnny Handsome anyway. I had hair on my head back then too. You know, so maybe I'd say 35. You know, because I looked really good. I looked really, really good. You know, there's pictures of me put out there. Not the ones where I was teenager, where I was really, you know, super jacked and everything. That was for teenage. But I got way better than that later on in life. You know, I was like really good. You know, there's pictures of me with the long mullet and shit, you know, back in the 80s. Where I was really, I had that sick build. I had a weird tan though, you know, because I used to tan in both. So you're in there like this, right? So underneath the armpits is white. But, you know, unless you stood near, I don't want to stand there holding my arms up. But anyway, go ahead, next.
Love Greg stories. Gerard Shelby.
Thank you, Gerard Shelby. I appreciate it.
Toby and the Trent twins set a bad example of today's youth. That's from John Mancini.
Oh, John Mancini, my boy, said that the Trent twins and all. I don't know those guys. I wouldn't even know them if they fell on top of me. You know, like I just remember seeing them one time in a picture and thinking, Jesus Christ, these kids are like young. They look like older guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. Look, guys, you don't need fucking steroids when you're young. I'm sorry, you don't. That's why a lot of these pro bodybuilders, they start when they're young. Yeah, they look great. They're in Mr. Olympia like this. But watch what happens when they retire. You're like, what happened to him? You know what I mean? I could be in a fucking, you know, hospital. Again, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I could be in a hospital, not trained, not do nothing. And all hospital staff's coming in and look at me because I'm still jacked. It's because I built a foundation naturally. I built a foundation naturally. That means everything. You have no idea. If you started out taking steroids and you got super jacked, when you go off, you're going to go back to what it looked like. So what I'm saying is those kids, when you're 18 years old, 19, dude, you've only had hair on your dick maybe 5-6 years or whatever. Your testosterone's on its way up. When I was 18 years old and my parents left the house to go shopping, I'd be fucking popping out the Playboy, fucking jerking off and shit because I wanted, you know, because my testosterone was screaming. I didn't need to fucking take testosterone. Plus, I didn't know what testosterone was back then because that was for me, 18 years old was the 1970s. 1978, I was 18 years old. Okay, that's how long ago that was. I was out of high school in the 70s. Corona. But so what happens is, back then we didn't even know what steroids were. It was a hush-hush subject. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't in the magazines, and unless you were like a great bodybuilder training at Gold's Gym and shit with other guys that were on shit, most guys didn't know what the hell they were. You know, I didn't know what they were. Bottom line is, though, even if I knew, I probably wouldn't have took them because, you know, I didn't need them. And I'm a firm believer in that you have to put your time in first.
Somebody wrote, Jolene, were people scared of you when you went into prison since you were abnormally huge?
Were people scared? Well, I was in a county jail. I wasn't in prison. All these other guys, though, they were club fed. You know, they're standing around like chewing on a weed, you know, sitting there, you know, with a fucking grassy knoll, or, you know, they have computers now, and guys are text messaging, you know, like, how is he texting? How's he have an Instagram when he's on fucking, when he's in jail? Because he's in fucking club fed. And the reason why they call it club fed is club fed. I was in fucking lockdown, bro, in my own cell by myself and the whole bit. Was they scared of me? No. I got respect, though. They respected me. We got along everywhere. Most guys want to know, you know, about working out. But there was no weights, no nothing. You know, you could do push-ups, sit-ups, and that's pretty much it. You know, there was a guy that was in jail with me that was a young kid, and he was a Spanish kid, and he used to do that reggaeton rap shit. And nobody would fucking say a word to him. He's small. He was probably about 5'2", 5'3", and he was skinny. But you know what? He fucking stuck a fork in some big black dude's eye. He was crazy. He was fucking nuts. And there's a difference between tough and crazy. This is one thing. Crazy, you could be 110 pounds and you got to watch, you know what I mean? Because that person could be, you know, they don't care. They'll take your life. They don't give a shit. They'll stick a fork in your eye. They'll cut your throat. You know what I mean? It's not about a fist fight anymore. It's about they'll get you while you're not looking. You understand? So you got to know who to just mind your own business when you're in that position, you know, and don't get involved with other people or gangs or any of that shit, because that's when you're in trouble with your own people and with who you're against. That's the best I can tell you. It kills me that these guys all fucking, like, you know, Sammy the Bull Gravano and all these guys, right? You know, they've talked about murders that they've done, and they brag about it and glorify it and shit. But then you got family members for some of these people that got to sit there and watch that shit. I think, you know, if they're allowed to be out talking about this shit and making money, that money should go to some of the families that, you know, he's killed 18, 19 people that they know of, that he had, you know, admitted to. You know, I don't care if he pulled the trigger or not, even if he was involved in it. That money should all go to those people. I mean, I don't have anything against the guy. I don't give a shit, but, you know, I'm just a firm believer in that, you know, if I had somebody whack my father, and I'm standing around, I'm watching this guy brag about it, like, you know, oh, we did this thing, we walked in and Anthony took a bite, you know, he took a hammer, the other guy took a fucking gun, we shot him twice in the head, then we took his body, and I'm sitting there watching, and they're talking about my father. I wouldn't be too happy about that, you know what I mean? And I think that I just don't understand. All these guys glorifying jail, dude, it's not, you know, I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean? I just don't see it, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing to be proud of. I made a change in my life. I was nuts, you know, before that. You know, it's funny you say that, because Joseph Potter and I were just talking about that this afternoon. I did things and almost did things that were really bad. You know, there was somebody, you know, one time, but I was going to kill somebody, you know what I mean? And thank God they weren't there, because if they were there, in my brain, I was justified, you know, and I kept saying, empty it in his head too. Make sure if he goes down, you stand above him and empty. And I could tell you the truth. I had two handguns. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? The story is on a Generation Iron where it says my daughter saved my life. It has to do with that guy. I'm just saying. I thought differently. My brain was not wired right back then. I actually believed this, you know, if I would have done what I was planning to do, that I was justified. I never thought about, oh, you're going to go to jail. I was like, how can I go to jail? I'm justified. I wasn't justified. I would have been in jail for the rest of my life. There's a lot of things. I've done a lot of things that were sketchy that I got away with. Nothing bad like that. But, you know, I'm just saying that I sit back and I go, holy shit, you know? And I'm a legit person now. I don't think anything bad. Look, I wear these are rosary beads, you know what I mean? I'm very, you know, I'm not like a God. I don't preach God to people, but I have my own beliefs and stuff. And, you know, that's one of my beliefs. And I'm just saying to you that all this prison shit, you know, I'm funny. I don't want to get too involved deep into that stuff, but a lot of these guys are, you know, they're not good people. They're pieces of shit. You know, thank God I didn't do the things that, you know, the few of the things God pulled me out of there before I did it. Otherwise, I'd be like really fucked up. You know what I mean? And I don't know how these guys brag about that shit and have no conscience about it. You know what I mean? But that's whatever. You know what I mean? That is what's not me. It's whatever. I don't have, again, I have nothing against Sammy the Bull. I have nothing against any of those guys. That's their own thing. I'm just saying, how could you sit here and talk about that knowing there's somebody out there that might have been family member that has nothing to do with that kind of that lifestyle? Maybe their father or their brother was involved in that shit. And then you're over here talking about that. Nope. I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. Watch that video on Generation Iron. I think it's called My Daughter Saved My Life, right? Isn't that that one? Story time with GREGG Valentino. Watch that video. That's a true story. And that was, that was you know, there was a lot to that shit. You know, this stuff I came this close. I got lucky. I went back to where I was living and is going after these two guys, and here's my fucking, I had a condo that I owned, and behind was, a little bit of grass, and then there was a fucking woods and a side, and then a road. And they ran through the woods, and I heard them start the motorcycle up on the road, and I was running like this. I had 2 handguns. If I would have caught them, let me tell you something, 1 minute earlier, I'd probably be, you wouldn't even know who I am. I would have been in jail 1 minute earlier, because my brain was on the whole way to the house. You gotta watch the video. On the whole way down, so instead of getting in, I'm not gonna get all into it here. But on the way, when I was driving, I kept saying, you should make sure you shoot them and you get them in the head, bro. Get them in the head. If they go down, you gotta go. If you can't give them a chance, to live. You gotta get them in the fucking head. I'm talking to myself doing this shit, driving. And when I sit and I think about that now, I even tell my girlfriend, like, now I gotta piss because I'm so fucking like fucked up from this. But I'll be right back. I gotta pee. But I'm saying, I was like, my thinking, I sit back and I go, what the fuck were you thinking? Do you have any idea what you would have fucking done? Like, my brain, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I'll tell you, hold on one second, I had to pee. Okay, sorry about that. I had to pee really bad. But, I did these things, and I don't think, in my brain, I was justified. I
would need intermission music.
I do need intermission music. It was in my brain, I was justified. You know what I mean? These guys came to the house, and my wife had to take my kid. My daughter was like 1 or 2 years old. I had to take my son was like 9 or 10, and she had to hide in the bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're trying to break in the house to get, try to get to me. I had money and shit hidden there, and they knew it. It was just an inside job, and I knew who it was. And I by the time she called me, get here, now they're coming in. I could hear them trying to get in the door. But
Gerard Chevy says, what's up, Greg?
Who?
Gerard Chevy.
Hey, Gerard Shetty, how you doing, my brother? I'm thinking, I'm driving, and I'm like, you fucking make sure you enter the fucking gun in them. And if they go down, you put it in their fucking head. You stand over them, you don't give them a chance. I didn't want to get, I'm saying this shit to myself. And I think about it now. It was Joe Zapata, and I was just talking about today. It's funny when this gets brought up, but I mean, and I tell her, like, holy fuck, the shit I was thinking, the shit I did. I did some bad things like burglaries and stuff with some wise guys, somebody from the, from the Gambino crime family. It's a bad, stupid thing. I would walk down the street before. It took them well over 30 years ago. But I mean, we were walking down the street. I don't even tell you. It's fucking crazy shit. Walking around with shit in our fucking, we just burglarized the house, go over somebody who fucked us over, so we paid him back, you know what I mean? It's a long story. But it did happen more than once, and I was with the wise guys, bro, doing this shit, and it's too much. And when you're around those kind of guys, bro, you're also in with guys that can fucking, I didn't do anything bad, like, hurt anybody, but you're around, I know of things, it's not good. I've seen a guy killed in front of me, long time ago, and, in the 80s, that was in the 80s, and it was not good, it's a nasty thing, and, I've seen things you shouldn't see, and it's just not good shit, so it's just, I don't know. So I don't have, when these guys start bragging about stuff,
Greg,
what?
Do you remember a mobster by the name of Paulie G? He was killed by his closest friends, and his best friend, Jimmy Calandra, didn't even seek revenge, and it shows you think a lot of those guys are just out. I don't know Paulie G, but I know Calandra, I think I know. I'm not going to tell you, I was in with guys, the guys I was in with were really bad. I never liked
one is just super famous.
That's Kid from Kid Dynamite who says I never like mobsters.
When you're around them,
they're cowards by themselves.
Listen, when you're around them, if you're around guys that are like that, and you're around a bunch of them, I wasn't in with Junior Gotti. I met him one time Okay, and this is way before I was super jacked. I was already bodybuilding, but I was like 1991, 92, something like that. And when you're around those guys, just saying hello and talking to them for a minute, there's other guys sitting around and they look at you, and it's almost like, have you ever been in a room? I've said this before, but if you ever been in a room with a dog that's like, maybe your friend has a dog that's vicious, pit bull, he's got to hold it and sits down, and that dog just stares at you. It just stares at you, and you're like, that fucking dog, man, that fucking dog, that dog, I don't trust that dog. It's looking at me funny. And your friend's like, just, don't worry about it. I got it. He's not going to do anything. And you can see, even if you move, that dog starts moving. That's the way those guys are. You just, you could even say hello to them, and they don't even, they don't smile. They're just, some of them will even barely nod their head like this. And you just look at you. They don't do anything. I got nothing to do with them. It was like that. It was in scores. So we were in a club with titties and shit. And I was in with somebody that was in with them. And, he introduced me. It was just, hello, what's up, that kind of shit. And it's just like this. That's all you got. And I'm like, I don't want to hang around that because I could just, it's like a fucking hang around with pit bulls. You're afraid that shit's going to jump right on you.
Shane asked, did women used to throw themselves at you?
Did women throw themselves at
you? When you were huge and jacked?
No, girls don't. Let me tell you something. Girls don't. My bad. All right, hold on. My girls don't.
Constitutional Stacker sent you $5.
Thank you, Constitutional Stacker. No, thank you, Constitutional Stacker. You don't have to send me any. I appreciate that. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. It is a lot. Believe me, it's a lot. For me, it's a lot. But thank you. I appreciate that so much. Wait, what did they just ask me? What did you just ask me before that?
The girls threw at you when you were built.
Oh, did girls? No, because I had no trouble getting chicks for one reason. My girlfriend likes ugly guys. That's why she's with me. So I'm lucky she likes ugly guys. But no, it's it's the gift of gab. You ever see a fat bastard and he's got a hot chick? Because he's like, I have a friend that's 500 pounds. He's like, hey, Vinny, what's up going on? You know what I mean? Hey, don't touch the fucking sneakers. You get too close. Like, seriously, I have a friend that, if my foot touches not near his foot, he wears his brand new sneakers. He's 500 fucking pounds. He'll take his sneakers off at the end of the night and put them in a box, a shoe box. He wipes it, he'll smudge off them, puts them back. He likes to wear Jets, so he'll wear like a Jets jersey with like fucking green sweatpants and they coordinate that shit with green sneakers, And he's Guido. He'll get any chick. He gets chicks like this. Okay, he's a good-looking guy, but he's big. He's fat. Like a fat Italian guy. Like, hey, Fat Joe. You know what I mean? Gets girls. Girls don't give a fuck. You could be Johnny Handsome. I have a few friends that are really good-looking guys. They can't keep a girlfriend because they're nuts. As soon as the girl gets around, their personality sucks, and they push anybody that wants to get to know them. They push them away. You know what I'm saying? If you're, girls don't give shits about hot bodies like guys do. Chicks like dad bods. You could be a fat slob, have a gut like this, but if you got gift of gab, that's what I just said. I should show them with you right now. Are you that cold? Go turn the air conditioner off. Holy shit, she's sitting there. It's fucking summer. She's got a blanket wrapped around it. Just turn the fucking air conditioner off. Holy shit. See, it just went off. So, like if girls like a guy who's like, makes them laugh, funny, sensitive, all that horse shit. So if you got the gift of gab, I did good with the gift of gab. But I'm no fucking Johnny Handsome. You know what I mean?
Constitutional Stacker, boom.
Oh, Constitutional Stacker, thank you very much. Thank you so much again, my brother. But like I said, I'm an ugly motherfucker. I don't know chicks fucking, chicks didn't jump it. But the only time chicks, when they got to know me, they like me because I make them laugh and I'm fun. I'm fun to be around. And I'm like Al Bundy, like the lovable loser kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't fuck around. Hey, look, I got the fucking look at my nice car out there. Chicks love me. I'm nothing like that. I'm more like Al Bundy. But the thing is that if you got a personality and you could talk to a girl and you're sensitive and you give a shit about what they have to say too, and it's not all about you, and then they kind of like that. I've had a lot of girls say, holy shit, I didn't realize you're a nice guy or whatever. I thought you were an asshole. But they see that jack shit, they don't like that. No way. You know what I mean? That doesn't, you think like if like, what's that, Hattie Chopin or whatever his name is? Do you think that guy walks in a club, girls are going to be like, oh my God, that's so fucking hot? No way. Corona. They would rather go with a fucking guy that's just got musculature, a little abs, maybe, a little pecs and shit, maybe 17 and a half inch arm. They don't care about some fucking big, that to them, that's not, men are visual. Women are not as visual as men. You might find a few. There's exception to every rule, but you don't really see a really good-looking guy, like stud-looking GQ guy with a fat bitch, right? Because it doesn't work. Or really fat, ugly girl. It doesn't work, right? Unless he's a gay dude, kind of like, make him believe he's straight. Okay? It doesn't work. But you'll see a really hot girl with a fat guy because girls are more about sensitive, more into the personality, the guy, they don't care that he's fat. It doesn't matter to them as much, but a guy cares, especially if you're a bodybuilder and you're jacked and really built and a good looking guy and you work out in the gym all day and you're not going to be with some, Fat Betty or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen because you don't see that, Anyway, I'll shut up about that. Satan, give me tell me, come on.
This is good advice, Greg. Money helps with the ladies too.
Money helps, but if you want a girl, listen to me. When you say money helps, if you got a girl that wants you because you got old, then what happens if the money goes south or whatever? Then she don't love you. She just loves your bank account. You got to have a girl like, my girlfriend would live in a cardboard box with me. You know what I mean? If it meant like, that's what we do. And I would live in a cardboard box with her. As long as she's putting it out. No, I'm just kidding. See, she's laughing. But I'm saying, like, no, but that's the way it has to be in a relationship. You don't want some girl to like you because you got money. If you got to stand there and try to press a chick, that's my car. Like those videos. You ever see those videos where those prank videos? That's all bullshit. If you think that that's legit, where some guy's like, excuse me, ma'am, I would like to get your number. She's like, oh, go fuck yourself. I don't know what the hell we're going for. It's Corona. Anyway, so, you see like some hot chick and she's telling the guy, I'm not interested. And then he goes, oh, okay. And he's going to get in his Lamborghini. Now she's like, oh, well, wait a minute now. That's all bullshit. None of that shit's like, that's not legit. And plus, why would you want some chick that wants you because you drive a nice car or because you got shot all? That's your big dick? No good. No good. It's never going to be a relationship that's going to last. Sorry. Next question.
John Mancini, money only lasts so long, like looks.
Yeah, more money, more problems sometimes. Trust me, John Mancini, you're right.
But saying that after a while, it just becomes like,
listen, I could tie $100 bill around my neck, and the chicks won't find me good looking, but they'll want to say, "Give me that necklace." You know what I mean? Yeah. So whatever.
Shoot the head.
What?
Nothing. I'm making a joke.
Okay, you better be joking. Go ahead. Well, give me a question here. So you guys get what I'm saying, right? You know what I mean? It's not about. I always did good with chicks for one reason, because I got the gift to give.
Constitutional Stacker says, make her laugh, make her feel safe, be confident. That's what they really love.
100% Constitutional Stacker. You just hit the nail on the head. Make her laugh, make her feel good. Treat her, like she's special. Listen to her bullshit when she's gonna complain, whatever. And be there for her. That's all. And then, they'll love you. You know what I mean? That girls are emotional. The whole thing, men are, women are from Venus, men are from Mars. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's because men are visual. You can get the biggest piece of shit, but she's got really big tits and a slamming body, big fake lips and all that wild hair. You guys are like, I don't give a shit. Let her use me. She's so hot. But dude, trust me, you don't want that. Remember Tommy Lee, who was with Pam Anderson? Yeah, he said, you guys used to go to tutu with Pam Anderson, you lucky son of a bitch. And he was like, bro, after 2 weeks of banging that, I'm like sick and tired of it. You know what that's like, waking up to that and, all nasty. And like, you got to live with it too, when you're outside the sack, if it's no good, you know what I mean? If she's not your best friend too,
Shane says, Greg, give us a look at those shredded quads. Your lower body blew those other chunks away.
Oh, my lower body.
When you were at the show with the webcam.
Thank you. I can't put. I'm up against a wall right here. I can't even really do it. Trust me. Who said that, by the way?
Shane.
Shane, thank you. Yeah, like even Dave Palumbo was like shocked. He even said, "Bro, your legs are like, And I do one set. But when I was out in Alabama, I don't know why in those jeans they look small to me. But when I took them down, even Dave was like, holy shit.
JWS sent you $3.
Who did that?
JWS.
JWS. Thank you. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate all that. Believe me.
Talking about constitutional thinker. He said she was probably a nightmare. Is he talking about
who was
Pamela Anderson? Maybe?
Oh yeah. He's probably talking about Pamela Anderson. Yes, constitutional nightmare. She was probably a nightmare. You know what I mean? You don't understand. A lot of these girls are, you know.
That's Jeremy Scott. JWS is Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy Scott. Oh, okay. How you doing, Jeremy? Yeah. You know what happens is that sometimes girls with the looks, that's all they are. Do you ever see, like, look at what's her name? Was married to Tito Ortiz. Not what's her name again? The porn star.
Janet Jameson.
Yeah, Janet Jameson. Okay, look at her. Right? She was hot when she was young. Now she's washed up. She doesn't even have her own kids. Tito Ortiz has custody of her kids with him, and Tito Ortiz and his new wife, they're raising her kids because she's that. What woman can't get custody of her own kid because there's no substance to these girls?
She really is a drug addict.
Well, maybe she is a drug addict, but I'm just saying that, a lot of these girls you guys see, you think because they're, all boo-ha. Try to go out with one of these girls like from OnlyFans that think that, I drive a Lamborghini and I need money and I've got my Gucci bag and all that stuff. Bro, they're so one way. But what happens when their looks go? They start pumping their face with all this shit. You ever see what some of those girls look like now? Pam Anderson looks like she busted. Janet Jameson looks busted. A lot of those old-time, good-looking girls are, their Sunday's news on Monday. You know what I mean? They pump their face and shit with stuff because they can't take aging. They can't, God forbid, they diet and keep themselves in shape. They got to get fat suction done, this, that, the other thing. It looks like shit then. Now they don't look so good, The drink of champions, Diet Root Beer. So that's what happens, they don't look so good anymore. They're like Sunday's news on Monday. What are you gonna do? That's what happens. A lot of girls.
Oh my God.
A lot of old time hotties look like shit. What?
Curtis Boyd says Pamela. I think he's talking about her private parts. Is like an old Wilson's catcher's mitt.
Who said that?
Curtis Boyce.
Curtis Boyce, you're right. She is like an old catcher's mitt. It's worn in, used. But what happens is there's no substance to them. I don't care even if they still look good. How do you not have custody of your own children? I love Tito Ortiz, but he's a little bit of a whack job too. So not for nothing, but he's got custody of his kids. You understand? Where she doesn't.
Jeremy Scott said, I was on the podcast with you and Joe. Tore my bicep. Remember?
Yes, Jeremy. Yes, I do.
And Lee, I said, hi, Greg.
Jeremy, how is that? How's everything going? Did you ever get that bicep fixed? I mean, is it? Don't wait too long. Don't let these doctors tell you that's no good. I had a friend that had the same thing, and he just got it, reattached, and then take a little Babanya. Helped that did wonders for my friend. It helped him recuperate quick. Right, Lou?
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're well, Jeremy.
Are we gonna close shop soon?
Yeah, we're gonna soon. What time is it?
12:30.
Yeah, I gotta go shortly. Me and her got some shit to do.
Hope you had TB 500 and BPC helps the healing. I guess he's talking.
Yeah, BPC. That shit's pretty good. Tony Huge sent me that shit.
They have it on Amazon.
I think they do. I don't know if they have it on Amazon. I have no idea. I don't look that stuff up. Tony sent me a bunch of shit.
Things, yeah.
He sent me a lot of stuff over the years. He sends me shit all the time. He's the guy. I don't even ask. He's a good man. I love Tony Huge. If you guys knew Tony Huge, the side of him that I know, you know what I mean. He's a good man. He's actually a really good guy. There's not a bad bone in that guy's body.
I got a good comment here. Chaldean said, "You said in an old video that too much abs will increase waist size.
Yes.
How much abs should I do?"
Who said that?
Chaldean.
Chaldean. You just need enough abs to listen to me. The muscle here in your bicep is no different from the muscle. It's made of the same shit that your abdominals are made from. So if you're taking a lot of steroids and you're in it doing weighted sit-ups and all that shit, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have you may get abs, but you're going to have a waist this big. It's going to grow. You guys don't understand that. You only need a little bit of sit-ups just to keep it sharp. You don't have to worry. 1 or 2 sets, maybe twice a week. That's all you need to do is keep it sharp. Do you want abs? Diet, But don't think, doing all this weighted shit. Jesus, Corona. I don't know what the hell was with the cough. Right? It's maybe drinking going down the wrong pipe. Ever since I got the throat cancer, I cough. But I'm fine. I don't got no bullshit. What was I say? Listen, If you've ever been around some of these guys backstage, some of them have like a fucking ass this big and a 40-inch ripped waist. Now, yeah, they got abs and there's even veins there and it, but fucking 40-inch waist is not too attractive, okay? I get it. You guys like that, oh, yeah, mass monster, yeah, they're a freak. But you can only stay that big for so long until it catches you. Maybe 5 years, and then all of a sudden you're going to have to go off. I mean, you know, a lot of guys are not, you know, I don't want to mention names because few I'm friends with, you know, I can say Big Raymond because I'm friends with him, but, you know, but guys like that are not, all of a sudden now they're not, like, you know, they're not there anymore. You know what I mean? You can't, it's just, and to have these fucking waists like this.
That's what constitutional status said. I
You
see
know?
it all the time.
All the time.
Fat guys doing ab work to get lean. No, it's a muscle. You'll get thicker.
Abs are made of the same muscle your bicep is. So if you train abs hard and you're on anabolics, get ready to fucking increase your waist size. No, it won't be fat. You'll have abs, but it's not going to be like a small waist. That's why some of these guys, their guts are out to here with a shirt on. It looks like, holy shit, he's got a fucking beard. Lifts it up and he's got these big, thick abs. But he's fucking doing the babanya. Right? You're doing a babanya, and you're doing all this fucking ab work, and then you're using weights? Get the hell out of here. Oh, I want to thicken the ab. You don't have to worry about thickening the ab. It's going to get thick anyway. Just a little teeny bit is all you need. You want to keep the waist small. Rich Gaspari, Corona, shrunk his waist by not training it for 10 months. You know what I mean? It took like no weight, no abs, no nothing. All these idiots doing a side bends with weights. What's the matter with you? You don't need to do that. What are you, crazy? You resistance weight training on a fight. Then you have obliques. I had a friend that kept saying, I can't get rid of these fucking things here. And I'm like, well, that's because you got oblique muscles. They're huge. And he's doing weights with them, fucking doing that shit. And I'm like, stop doing the weights. Stop. Don't even train it. It'll shrink. And sure enough, it shrunk. Come on, guys, you know, it's made of the same muscles, no different. Your ab muscle is no different from your bicep muscle. There's no difference.
Constitutional status said abs are made in the kitchen and through workouts that burn fat.
Yes,
not through training.
Yes, constitutional.
Vacuums,
he's right. He's right.
Vacuums help as well. Shit hurts though.
Yeah, well, if you want to do vacuums, you definitely constitutional stack is correct. It's at the kitchen tables where the fucking, you know, you got to watch what you eat, okay. And don't go crazy with abs. It's a teeny little bit. That's all. You know, 1 or 2 sets, that's it. Nothing great. No resistance. Lose body fat. Okay? And you'll have abs. Like a skinny dude who's never fucking touched a weight in his life has abs. You know, but that, you know, he's got low body fat just because his body fat's low. Cut your body fat and there's abs there. Okay? Even a fat bastard, if he loses a lot of weight, he's going to have abs. It's just the way it is. You know, you don't sit there do resistance training and all fucking side bends. My friend had these obliques. They were like 2 softballs here. You know, and he was like, I can't get rid of them. And I'm like, just stop doing that freaking. What are you doing? Stop training them. And especially with weight, don't train them at all. Leave them alone. Let them shrink. And they did. What else?
I met Tony Huge at an expo. Very generous and warm.
Who said that?
Shane.
Tony Huge is a good man. You're right. Shane is right. Shane is 100% right. Tony Huge is a good man. Dude, there's not a bad, I hate when they say, he killed Leo Rex or he was in a, I don't want to get into that whole Leo Rex thing. I talked to Leo Rex 2 weeks before he died. You know, Leo Rex was a good guy. I got along with him. I know he had his issues, but I had no problems with Leo Rex. I liked him. I think that, you know, when you fuck around with hallucinogenics a lot, you know, when you start telling me like, you know, my dead Uncle Tanus came down to visit me and we had a big argument and shit like that. And I'm like, stop fucking around with them hallucinogenics. Your Uncle Tanus is fucking not around. You did not have an argument. I'm not saying he did that, but, you know, similar to that shit. And I just think, you know, that that's why the toilet bowl was off and he was behind the door. How did he get behind the fucking door where they couldn't open the door? Ooh. Somebody killed him and then left him behind. How did he get it? What did they, you know, Dave Palumbo? Oh, he climbed out the window. The window was like this. Who? Oh, it's a train. He did it because the lady boy did. Get the fuck out of here.
Jeremy Scott, gotta run, Greg. Take my painkillers. Get some sleep.
Jeremy, good for you, my brother. I hope you get better. If you need any help or any advice, let me know, my friend. Okay. God bless you. I hope you feel better. Jeremy Scott's a good man. You know, Joe Zapata. Joe Peter's my friend too. Joe Zapata and I just did an interview with Jeremy.
Yeah, somebody was saying they like your shows with
Yeah.
Joe Zapata.
Yeah, Joe and I, we do, Joe Zapata and I are good. So me and Joe Pitaro too. We still do stuff together. We haven't been doing the videos, but we'd still do I still write the columns for his magazine. So, but I'm gonna go in a couple minutes. Me and the girlfriend got to do shit.
Yeah.
She's got you got the blanket over
I
there.
don't know why I'm cold.
Well, it's fucking 90 degrees outside and it's humid.
John Mancini says, Detective Palumbo, LOL.
Detective Palumbo, John Mancini's right. Dave's a great guy. I love Dave, but we clash with different views, but that's what friends are for. I get along with all the RX guys are my boys. We all really get along and really like each other. We get along really, really well, especially when we're in person. We get along really, really well. We have a lot of fun, Lee's my boy. Lee is I've been friends with Jimmy the Bull forever, We're gonna go out to dinner. We gotta film that shit when me and him go out and stuff. But we're all guineas from New York. What else here?
Absolutely, I like Dave too. Nice guys.
Yeah, they're all good guys. You guys are all good guys too. I'm glad that you guys are here, and I appreciate you guys coming here. Trust me, I do this for you guys. Obviously, I'm not making no shkadol. I'm a YouTube content creator. You know what I mean? That's I'm not a content creator at all. And if I need to put more videos out. I get it. I understand that. So if I was one of these guys, I'd be putting out videos every day, all day, just nonsense, just talking about anything like, the weather, whatever, just to put out content so I can get my, whatever from YouTube. I don't do that, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that I'm the wrong guy. I mean? I'm just a fly in the ointment, I got real media things I'm still doing too. So that is good. That I work hard for that shit, but whatever. So what else, Lucia? All right, guys. Yeah, thank you, Shane. I appreciate it. And Gerald, I can't see it, Lucia.
Good night.
Good night, Gerard. What's his name? I can't see.
He's telling Jeremy's cut a good night.
Oh, okay, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna have to run too now, guys, because it's getting late. It's 12:30. I think I've been on here for how long? 2.5 hours or something? No, 2 hours. Yeah, because I gotta run. We'll do this again next Friday. I'll be back on. We'll have some more bullshit to talk about. Maybe who knows what.
Winworth, good night.
Winworth, thank you for always being here. You guys, I love you guys, man. Thank you all for being here. Without you guys, you guys are the reason why I do this shit, because it keeps me going. What does that say?
Have a great night, Greg.
Shane, hit it quick, most musky. You can't see it in the shirt, but you can see I still have it's there. You can see. If I ever took this off, you guys be like, "What the fuck? Why don't you show that more often?" Like when I was out in Alabama, they were like, "Holy fuck!" Because my back, I have a really big back and a tiny waist. But we'll get to that.
Constitutional Stacker says it gives us purpose.
Thank you, Constitutional Stacker. But it's guys like you guys, man. It's guys like you that make me want to do this. Again, I'm not here for the. It's not like, oh my God, I'm making all this money. It's not like that at all. So I do it for you guys. And what does that say? What's the last one?
You're the man, Greg.
Bless. Is that Wallace Michael? Thank you. All right. And John Missy, thank you too. Again, you guys.
Aceto puts me to sleep.
Chris Aceto, yes. Chris Aceto. When I can't sleep at night, I think about him and Dave. I get along very well with Chris Aceto. I'm saying? I just play around. But he does look like he combed his hair with a pork chop, but he's too serious about things.
Constitutional Snacker, it gives us guys like us purpose to interact with people, Greg.
Yes, thank you, Constitutional Stacker. I really appreciate all your support. All right, guys. I will see you next Friday, okay? And God bless. All right. Thank you guys for being here. I love all you guys. I'm going to log out now, wherever I do it. Stop fucking around. I'll see you next week. All right.